tell us what your complaints are about Lou Dobbs.
Well,
I mean, you call him a hate monger.
Yeah,
you call him...
to say that I accused him of almost being dishonest, I guess is an understatement. I've accused him of being dishonest.
Outright.
In fact, he is dishonest.
He is.
Because, I mean, in his book, his first book called Exporting America, when I spoke to him, there was a conversation in which I pointed out to him that he supposedly arrives at this crucial finding that he's taken from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that jobs of the future are basically going to consist of menial jobs. He mentioned that he got this from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, so I was able to trace the source, and I pointed out to him that the source that he's citing states exactly the opposite.
The opposite.
What it actually states is that the jobs of the future are mainly going to be professional jobs. Now, Mr. Dobbs started to yell at me and started to tell me that this was not, as he put it to me, this is not an interview, this is an attack. I said, no, this is an informed interview, Lou. It's not an attack, but I just have some information which I want you to comment on. He was on the verge of hanging up on me, and we changed the subject because I felt I couldn't get the man any more upset than he already was, having been caught in his lie. Now, what has also happened since my book was published is that I discovered that in Dobbs' new book, the title of which I forget, it has something to do with the shrinking middle class, the war on the middle class, something like that, is the title of his new book. Exactly the same misleading data, I shouldn't call it misleading, lies that he published and cited and attributed to the Bureau of Labor Statistics is also in this new book, except he tries to cover his tracks by not revealing the source so that we can't trace where it came from.
I see.
And so that's why there's no question that Lou Dobbs is willfully dishonest.
That's an incredible
He and I
story.
have a past, and the past indicates that when you catch Lou Dobbs in a lie, he'll only lie a little bit more.
That's an incredible story.
Well, with respect to hate mongering, what I especially am troubled by with Lou Dobbs is that he habitually refers to to China. I was about to habitually refer to China as communist China, which is what Lou Dobbs does. Now, you don't call China communist. Its index of economic freedom it shows that it actually has more economic freedom than India has. So we're not going to call India communist, are we?
Well, they call themselves communist.
India doesn't call itself
No. China, they call themselves.
China calls themselves
Yes,
communist?
they do.
Well, that's interesting. If China calls themselves communist, it still doesn't mean that we should, because they're less communist than India.
Well,
I'd be curious to know who do you think does. But
it's a pejorative term.
It's a pejorative term. It's a hate monger. But listen to this line, and I'm going to quote Lou Dobbs. Communist China launches yet another assault on the American consumer.
Well, that's crazy.
That's crazy, and it's hate mongering.